Hey, happy Monday, everybody. It's the first week of the holiday. We're getting close, Anthony.
Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality. Hey, everybody. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. Of course, I'm Glenn Hausman. That is the famous and infamous Anthony Melchiori. Anthony, so great to see you. I missed you because you were down in Florida and I saw the pictures. It looks like that commencement speech was pretty fun for you and pretty awesome for the people in the audience.
Yeah, I think I got a little bit of a tan anyway.
Yeah, looking good.
It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. And our doctor producer, Suzanne, was instrumental in making sure I was comfortable. And people were saying, she's like MacGyver. Every time I need something, she whipped something out and I had it. So she was very accommodating, but it was fun, and it was about a 20-minute speech. And people have been asking me, what I talk about? Kind of what I talk about in my book is that no one's coming, no one gives a crap, and do a little more and you go a lot further. And that was kind of the theme of the speech, with stories that I don't know if I've ever told you, maybe one or two I've told, but with stories that back up, put my money where my mouth are. So if I say no one's coming and you send a resume, no one's going to call you. Right. I give you a story of where I was in the same boat and then what I did to get a gig or to get something. So it was fun. I had a really good time. I guarantee you I had a much better time than anybody else in the audience.
I'm sure, because you absolutely love doing those things. And, one thing that I thought that was really cool, and Anthony, I know you are a big fan of great PR moves. So this week from December 22nd through 24th, Shake Shack over at the JFK Terminal 4, they got 2 locations over there. If your flight is delayed or canceled, they're going to give you some free fries. And they're getting
they've been giving out a lot of free fries, and because there's going to be a lot of delayed and cancellations. So let's talk about the elephant in the room.
There's an elephant in the room?
Yes. What's happening in New York City with COVID?
Oh, I know, dude. It's the numbers are really, really, really getting out of control right now.
Sunday we had the worst day in the history of COVID in New York City. It seems a lot of people I know have been getting it, but it seems that if you're vaccinated, especially if you're boosted, it's nothing more than a cold. I'm reading a lot that the emergency rooms, if there's anybody in there with COVID, it's always the non-vaccinated. So so listen, New York City is still open, Broadway's still open. Unfortunately, Radio City Rockettes closed, and that was more because a lot of the people in back of the house were getting COVID. And but New York City is still open. Please don't cancel your reservations if you're coming to New York City for Christmas. The hotel business needs you. You wear your mask. And like I said, if you're vaccinated, and there's these home tests you can take. I actually took a home test when I got back from Florida. And then as I was waiting for the result to come back from the doctor, and I was clear. But the home test seems to be working as well. So they're $23 from your local pharmacy, and you get 2 of them. And but please don't not come to New York.
Yes. And I would like to encourage Fish to not cancel the shows at Madison Square Garden over the holidays. And speaking of that, let me quickly plug myself. If you want to hear my show on crowd control, you can go to the app of SiriusXM, go to the Fish channel, and I will be right there. You can hear my show.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Great. It was so much fun. I was driving with one of my kids on Saturday at noon when the show came on, and I made him listen to some of it. So that was a real hoot. I sat alone in the car listening to it myself. My friends were calling me, and it was
wow. So including you, there was one person listening. That's great.
At least one. So that's good.
No, listen. I've met a couple of Fish people recently, and they're all diehard. They all listen to the station. So I know. I'm sure a lot of people were listening. But anyway, so yeah, unfortunately, hotel occupancy is going down, so you can get a good rate right now in New York City. Please come to New York. And also, when I meant to tell you when I was in Florida, there is a hotel we're working on, 30-room hotel, a development project. I think I sent some pictures out, and so that was fun too. I always like working on a project like that. So and then I think I'm basically down. outside of the podcast and a couple of client calls until after January.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've only got a couple of few shows left for the year right now. We're going to be taking all next week off. We're going to be running best of shows. I think I know what those shows are going to be, but if you folks out there have a pick, let us know in the comment box and maybe we'll run
the Mark Summers show again. That was a good show.
Yeah, but I know, but it was just last.
So what? Run it again anyway. It was good. A lot of people didn't see it. A lot of people were shopping for presents for you.
That is very true. And if you do want to send presents, please send one to me. I'm very needy at this
So
time.
listen, I've got to study. So if
Yes, all right, let's get in.
where do I go?
Sorry to keep our guests waiting backstage. Anthony and I are just feeling a little super chatty today. We're talking to Paul McGowan, founder and creator of Study Hotels, a brand that's emerging. I think you've got 2 open, 1 about open, and 1 on the way, Paul. And hotels on university campuses. And here is the one at Yale. Welcome to the show, Paul.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
This is so exciting to see you. Thank you so much. So, Anthony, this is such an exciting idea to me. I love the idea of having hotels on campus, and more frequently, I'm seeing a lot more deals with people coming from outside, building the hotels on campus. Now, Paul, I don't know when you came up with this idea, but it seems to me a smart move for an investment because you've really got a built-in audience there, except for maybe a little bit last year.
Sure. Yeah, this all came about back in 2007, first opening at Yale in 2009. So, the need was pretty obvious to me, and we had an opportunity to acquire an asset on Yale's campus, and it's worked out really well.
So how do you get assets on campuses? I imagine that's pretty challenging.
Well, for us, we're in the long game, so it takes a while to develop relationships with universities. But our proven concept at Yale has gained quite a lot of exposure. So a lot of the opportunities that we've had and the pipeline that we had built going into COVID was a result of word of mouth and people that had experienced the hotel there and saw the level of engagement and interaction that we have at the university. So it's not only something that our customer appreciates and seeks out, but the universities themselves see the value in having a partner like us on campus that is fully immersed in their culture and trying to reflect the character of the school and the guest experience. So it's worked out really well.
Yeah.
So how many do you have in the pipeline right now, you said?
We have an active 3 projects that we're pursuing, basically reigniting post-COVID. We had a very active pipeline going in 2019. We'll be opening our hotel at Johns Hopkins, which is right on the main campus in Baltimore in this summer. We just opened at University of Chicago. We'll be completing the opening there late January. So that's been in the works for a couple of years. It's a new build project right on the university campus. And we've got 3 other active projects that we're pursuing now that, it appears the capital markets are opening up a bit. So we're optimistic that we'll see a few more moving forward here shortly.
Yeah. Anthony?
So I was going to say, how does it work? If a hotel on campus, what is your standard? Who's your client? Is it visiting professors, parents? Are there some dormitories? If I need to stay on campus maybe for a semester, do I get a good deal? How does it work?
So, all of the above with the exception of the dormitory piece. I realized back in 2007, I was looking at schools with my daughter Lauren up and down the East Coast, and we were staying in some pretty lousy accommodations while visiting some pretty high-end schools. When I fell upon this opportunity at Yale, when I started thinking about the lodging experience on university campuses, from my prior life, I remember a lot of college towns that were, kind of stuck in the limited service sector as opposed to full service accommodations. And when I started to look at Yale University and New Haven and the quality of the accommodations there and the historical performance of the hotel that we bought, it became pretty clear to me that no one was really focused on providing an experience that would accommodate the needs of the university community. And that runs the gamut from visiting professors to alumni to prospective students to existing families. So we really started to pull that apart and say, what would it take to be successful in a full service operation in a market like this. And from that, and some deductive reasoning in terms of, what do we really need to offer? How do we control this? How do we allow ourselves to be successful financially in markets with limitations like this? But we were able to do that, and we were able to do it successfully and dive deep into the university culture. And the study at Yale has been a huge success.
I'm going to take a risk here and say your daughter went to Yale.
No, she did not.
No. Can I ask where she did go?
She ended up going to Cornell, but that was just
hotel school.
Hotel school. Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Great choice by your daughter. Now, Anthony, you may not know this, but Paul, back in the day, was SVP of Design and Construction with Starwood doing W Hotel stuff. He helped with like 14 different projects, and then went on to start his own investment company and actually helped do the W in Hoboken, which I know you.
Matter of fact, my daughters, every Black Friday we go and we stay at a hotel, and we stayed at that hotel 3 times in a row. And this year they go, we're going to the W in Hoboken again, right? And I said, no, we're going to stay in Times Square. And they were like, oh, we really like that hotel. It feels like home. And we went to the Margaritaville, which they love too. So. But we'll make our way back there. But it is very comfortable. It's a very comfortable hotel. It's very we were very fortunate that they gave us the presidential suite. So there's several rooms. Yeah, love that. Absolutely love that hotel. Now, does she want to go into the hotel business?
She's helping us on interior design. So she went on to get a master's in interior. So she's very active on the design side. So
wow, we got something in common. My daughter works at a first-class hotel in New York City as well. Never thought she'd be in the business. And last night she called me up and she goes, "Dad, I got tickets to a concert. I won't say which concert. I'll just say because then you'll know who's staying in the hotel." And she goes, "You want to go?" Because she knows I'm a big fan. And I was just like, no, go ahead and go with your boyfriend. But she was so excited. She goes, "You believe they left us tickets?" It's like, yeah, man, that's a great part of staying in a fancy hotel. I had Stevie Wonder when I was at the Plaza play me a song once for opening up a restaurant.
nice.
It's a great business.
Yeah.
So did you open any of the hotels in New York when you were with Weston?
With Starwood, yes.
Starwood?
We did W Times Square, W Union Square. It was right at the beginning of the brand launch. And so, yeah, we were quite active in New York at the time, and Los Angeles, New Orleans.
Did you do the Westin? Did you work with Tishman on the Westin?
No, all just strictly W at the time.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And then when I left Starwood, went on to oversee the company's joint venture interest in Mexico City. So we built W Mexico City, and took on a few projects managing on behalf of Starwood and other investors, the St. Regis in Princeville, W in Vieques in Puerto Rico.
I remember when that project was built. That's cool.
Yeah.
Was it like one of the first hotels there once they stopped dropping bombs on that old decommissioned Air Force base or something like that? That bombing?
I think it was an old Wyndham hotel that we had acquired at the time, or the investor out of Barcelona required. So
that's pretty cool.
So it was an interesting project, but we were.
Yeah. So Paul, all of these projects that you did, I guess in some sort of way led you to creating this brand. What did you learn about, consumer behavior and stuff? And how did you apply that with your design skills in order to create something such as Study Hotels?
Well, I mean, it's a combination of really a career full of work that I had done. Starting out with Sheraton Hotels back in '87 in Boston. I was with the franchise group, which at the time we had about 500 hotels and a network of 750 hotels worldwide. And there was a pretty considerable spread in quality between the international hotels and the franchise group. So back then I was flying around trying to improve properties, and we ended up defranchising over 200 hotels, I think, in that time frame. But what impressed me back then was meeting a lot of the individual owners and how each of the hotels, despite their brand name, were connected in some way to the community that they were in. So I gained a lot of experience on how those connections are relevant, how you can go to any particular market and stay in, at times, the best hotel in the market, and at times ones that need a lot of work. So I took that forward, went to work for Starwood, launching the W brand, which was, it was a whole not only just a change in style and attitude, but a completely different way of approaching
Right.
our business, led from Barry Sternlich's brilliance and some of the thought process he had around trying to create a differentiated hotel experience. So we were one of the first to take, bathtubs out of guest rooms and go with all showers and really challenge the limits on design. And so, through that, we're able to understand a little bit about branding, enough to, I think, put a foothold in what we were doing at Yale.
Right.
I never really set out to launch a brand. It was more about trying to create a really successful.
I'd imagine when you're on a campus that hotels or colleges get a little concerned when you jack the rate up during open house days, student days, homecoming, things like that. Do you hear from them when the rates go really through the roof during those peak periods, or no?
No, not at all. We've kept all of our arrangements with universities at arm's length. It's an open market, transaction on our side. And we ride with the demand. And in the middle of January, when there's no one there, we don't put our hand out looking for, help from the university. So, they understand that. They understand that it's a balance, and, the troughs are deep and wide. And so, overall, it balances out, and we're there to contribute to the experience that anyone who's visiting the campus has, and they appreciate that.
Yeah, I imagine having a hotel right on campus is amazing.
Yeah, I would think so. And Paul, you're a guy I think that's known for being fiercely independent these days, but especially with this particular brand, right? It seems that an on-university property really lends itself to being independent, although I've seen branded hotels at other campuses, including one here at Stony Brook near me that's got a branded hotel there. What are the advantages to being an independent hotel operating within the confines of a university, do you think?
I mean, I think it's compulsory. I think you can't come in and create an experience that, truly reflects the character of the university without, being free from the constraints of a brand and a certain, personality that's dictating the experience of the guests. So it was one of the things that we take very seriously. We invest a lot of resources in making sure we understand the market, understand the university, and in turn, our hotels feel like the place that they're in, and it's a real advantage for us going forward, despite the amount of work that it takes.
So you must have it a little bit easier finding people to work in there. There are opportunities for hospitality related, folks on your campus to come in and work there at the hotel.
In the beginning, I thought that we would have quite a few potential students that want to work in our hotels, but it's not. It hasn't really proven out.
Wow.
We've had a few in Philadelphia from Drexel University and University of Pennsylvania, but we really haven't had much success hiring students at Yale. But there are a number of other schools and programs that are in and around the markets that we're in, and we tap into those pretty frequently, looking for people that are serious about hospitality and want to grow and learn and be part of what we're doing. So
how many rooms is the hotel at Yale?
Yale's 124. Our hotel in Philadelphia is 212. Our project in Chicago is 167. And at Johns Hopkins, we're converting an existing apartment building, so it'll be about 115 rooms there.
Any idea that you'd come to New York City, or it's just that's not a market you're looking at?
We've been in very active conversations with a few universities here. So it's not something that we would rule out.
Now, do you partner with them on the real estate? Do you ever bring them in as a partner?
Absolutely, if they're interested, for sure. Yeah, a lot of our deals are long-term ground lease, so we end up in some way partnering with them on that front. So it's a long-term relationship for sure.
Right. That's awesome. So what are the average rates at it? Are they competitive with hotels in the area? Are you getting a premium because you're located on the particular campus? How does your thought process work when setting revenue?
I mean, you know the game. It's hard to make projects feasible, especially new build projects. So we tend to come into the market as the rate leader, which is essential in order to make the numbers work. But it's historically, as I said before, New Haven is an example. I think historically the hotel we bought had never done better than 60% at $105 ADR. So you can imagine that, adding 2 floors and gutting a building and the cost associated with that would be difficult to justify on those economics. So our rates are, well above 200 ADR, and we're running 78% occupancy.
Yep.
It's a pretty comfortable place to be on a stabilized basis. And it took a few years to get there, of course. In 2009, we got off, it was a bad time to be opening a hotel, but we made it through.
Mhm.
And but we tend to be the rate leader, and we provide an experience that's commensurate with that for sure.
Beautiful. Paul, before we let you go, any final thoughts that you want people to walk away with today?
No, I mean, we're excited to be growing again and back in business, and in the process of reopening our 2 hotels, and and seeing the pipeline open up again. So we look forward to seeing you in the future, and in any of the markets that we're in.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Really appreciate you being here.
Paul, happy holidays.
All right, you too. Thanks.
Bye.
I feel like studying now. I'm going to go study.
Seriously, dude, I got a whole bunch of books here that I got to go to. I think if I'm going to read any book, I'm going to read Dr. Professor Suzanne's textbook. Because
yes, I think that's a good idea.
Right?
Professor Suzanne's book is a great book. What's the name of the book again?
I forgot. Thanks for getting that question.
Dr. Professor.
Let's bring her on while I'm.
It is Hospitality Cases in Human Resource Management.
Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Professor Suzanne.
All right, so guess what we got over the weekend, Anthony? Because we had won the Davy Awards.
Boom. Oh, where's my award?
Your award is in a box right there. I'll get that out in just a second. But here's our big award. Hold on one second.
Now the Davy Award is a gold award for best or one of the best podcasts in hospitality.
The best podcast in hospitality and all that kind of stuff.
Here's your award. That's fantastic.
Little box. Yeah, pretty excited.
Yeah.
So next time I see you, I'll get it. Another excuse to go back to the Garden City Hotel or something.
And maybe what you should do is take a picture of it and then have somebody on our team actually post it on our social media. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
No, it will happen. I will totally do that. Just
we suck at social media. So, all right. So, what are you doing to celebrate Festivus?
All right. So I got the poll out. So I'm really excited about that. So we're gonna have people. We're gonna have some friends come over if the COVID thing works, and then we'll be doing our feats of strength around the house. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to see how many beers I could drink.
Oh, you know what? Seriously, just have them take a home test before they come over.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I know I'm just kidding about all of that kind of stuff. We don't really celebrate Festivus.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you started it.
I should.
So what do you do Christmas Eve? Tell me about Christmas Eve and Christmas Day for non-Italians.
All right. So for those that don't follow Jesus and his crew, we do Christmas Eve, nothing, whatever.
Chinese food.
Maybe that's the next day. Maybe turn on WPIX and see if we could catch the Yule log for a little while, and and see if we can see how long that runs before we could catch before the flames repeat. And stuff like that. We'll do that for a couple hours, and then on Christmas Day we'll get up and we'll have coffee and not open presents, so we don't have to clean anything up. And then we're going to be going. I guess we're going to go for some Chinese food, and I got tickets at 7 p.m. on Christmas Day to go see Spider-Man with the family.
So I heard that thing is blowing up, huh?
$235 or $50 million or something, like third biggest opening of all time.
I didn't think anybody went to the movies anymore.
Yeah, it opened to like $500 million globally.
Wow, that's saying a lot during the pandemic, and nobody's watching movies anymore, apparently, but they are. What was that movie with Bradley Cooper that apparently Spider-Man wiped off the face of the earth?
Oh, yeah. He's in the new Guillermo del Toro movie. What is that called again?
Is that's his movie?
Yeah, that's the other
Guillermo's movie?
Yeah, but I figured that's a kind of movie that I think would work well for the big TV you have at home. right? But Spider-Man, you got to go see in the theater. We saw the other one in the theater, the second one.
Yeah.
So much fun to go to see those.
That's funny you say Guillermo, because last night my daughter said that she's working with his niece. I thought that was funny.
Oh,
She-
Nightmare Alley. Thank you, Wildly
yeah.
Curtis. Really appreciate
Hopefully
that.
it's a good movie.
Nightmare
But
Alley.
anyway, so who's the Spider-Man person? Who's the character, the main character? Who's the
Spider-Man.
actor? Who's
Peter
the
Parker.
actor?
Tom Holland, I believe is his name.
Oh,
He's
wow.
yeah,
Okay. He doesn't look like Superman. He looks like a little
He's-
guy.
Spider-Man. He is, because Peter
Yeah.
Parker's a teenager. This is the first depiction of Spider-Man that I think was closest to the spirit of the comic books I loved reading in the 70s and 80s.
Okay, so let's talk about your comic book habit. Tell
Yeah.
me what, like, how bad your comic, because I've never read a comic book in my life.
Yeah.
How bad was it?
It was bad, but I was clever. So I got into comic books when I was like 12 or 13 years old, right? And I really got into it and I liked reading them, but they were at the time 60 cents each, which was a lot of money. Now they're like $5, $6, $7, $10, right? But so what I did is I got all my friends into comic books, and then I started selling comic books, and then I sold it to them so I would get all of mine for free. I guess I kind of did that with weed in college too, but that's a story for another day.
And do you have a lot of comic books now?
I must have about 20 boxes full, and each of them are probably about this big.
And how much are they worth?
Of them? It depends. I have no idea what's really in there.
If you come over to my house or I come to your house, I have a box that my grandmother-in-law gave me,
Mhm.
and they're very old.
Yep.
And I went through them once, and I priced some of them. Apparently, I have original first print Superman,
Mhm.
mint condition.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
You know,
I
I'm
hear-
lying.
I-
You know I'm lying, right? How'd you know I was lying?
I
How'd you know
hear
I was
because
lying?
I hear Action Comics 29, the first appearance of Superman, is not really worth anything. If you want, I'll totally take it off your hands for you. though.
But you immediately knew I was lying because
Of course, because first of all, it's Action Comics. It wasn't Spider-Man. He appeared, Superman. He appeared in another comic book first to make his debut before he got his own series sometime later
Can't
on.
lie to a nerd.
No, I mean, you could try, but no, I have some really old Fantastic Fours and Spider-Mans and Iron Mans, because what happened once is I got all these old comic books because my dad was an attorney and someone didn't pay the bill, so he made a deal to get the comic books from him to satisfy some of the bill. So I wound up getting a whole bunch of them. Plus, I sold a whole bunch. And in high school, I used to go to comic book shows, and I'd be a dealer, and I'd sell all the comic books and stuff like that at the shows in high school.
Oh, so you were really into it. I was into baseball card trading and flipping like every normal kid.
I have tons of baseball cards
But
too.
I never knew Marvel and all this was such a big deal, and now it's taken over the world. I mean,
I
even
know.
Star Wars. I still have never seen Star. So wait, I'm going to tell you a funny story, and I hope he's listening.
Mhm.
Everybody knows Leo Rossi. Well, you know, Leo Rossi's a good friend of mine, and he's done 110 movies,
Yeah.
and he's a pretty big character in Halloween too. Matter of fact, Suzanne, if you can pull it up and
Leo
see
Rossi's in Halloween too.
how, and he's a big character in Halloween too. Yeah. So pull it up. You didn't know that?
No. I
So
did
this
not.
is the conversation we have this morning. So we talk like once a week. So he calls me up this morning, and when he was in New York City to shoot in the movie, he had to stop shooting because he had a cold, and for like 4 days he had a cold, and it was all the symptoms you have of COVID, but he had a cold. He would not go to the doctor or admit that he had a cold, but anyway, so he could have had a cold, but whatever. So we're talking this morning. He's breaking my chops about something. And I said, well, I don't watch scary movies. I don't watch Star Wars. I don't watch anything. I go, I haven't even watched Halloween 2. And this is what he says to me. This is when he was probably in his late 30s. He says, you got to watch Halloween 2. My butt makes an appearance and it looks fabulous.
Well, next time you see him, ask him how he feels that Halloween 2 is now no longer considered canon because of the new movies with Jamie Lee Curtis. They kind of are pretending all the other ones don't exist anymore. Aha, look at that.
Yeah. He played, what was his role? Bud. Did you ever see Halloween 2?
Yeah, of course they did.
So do you remember Bud?
No, of course I did. I just didn't remember because it was so many years ago. I loved those movies back in the 80s. I was, besides comic books, I was really into horror.
Do you ever see Relentless, all the Relentless movies?
No.
That he's been all four of those. Accused, the Accused with Jodie Foster.
Yeah, right.
He played the antagonist.
That was the rape courtroom drama.
Right. Suzanne, pull that one up. He looked like when I first met him, I watched that and I was just like, dude, I can't be friends with you. This guy goes to church every single day, and he played the biggest monster. Like, and Jodie Foster said she won the Oscar because he was such a great antagonist.
Yep.
But yeah, he's been in so many movies. But so you got to watch Halloween 2, not because it's a great movie,
No,
because
it was
Leo's
not.
butt looks great.
No, but listen, Halloween was the seminal movie that really kicked off that stalker horror genre, and Halloween 2 was great because that really, I think, was really birthed the slasher type genre, right? Because the body count went up, and it was much more of what you saw those Friday the 13th films and all of those other carbon copies.
Yeah,
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
And I would consider him my best friend and one of my best friends. And he's writing a horror movie right now.
Really?
He got hired to write a Halloween a scary movie.
That's
and
cool.
I said, well, he wrote it pretty quick. He wrote it in a couple of weeks. I go, man, that was really, really fast. And he goes, yeah. I said, why? He goes, because I was scared I wouldn't be able to write it. But he has, he writes all his movies longhand.
What?
All
Like
of his movies, he writes every single word longhand.
Wow.
And then he has somebody type it up for him. Usually his wife, Lynn, who's also an actress, and she does all of his typing, but she refused to do this one because she doesn't like scary movies.
That makes sense. Yeah, I admire him for being able to do it by longhand. Like when I used to try to write, I could never write because my brain is moving faster than my hand. And by the time I get to the end of the sentence, I've forgotten what the next sentence is.
Yeah, I can't write. I mean, I write on on a computer, freehand without an outline, and I do really good just creating as I'm typing, Yeah. But anyway, so if you want to see Leo Rossi's butt, Halloween 2 is the place to be.
That's pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to get my booster shot today, Anthony.
Oh, you didn't get it yet? Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, it's at 3:00. Yeah. Oh wait, Spider-Man is so unbelievably good. Woohoo! I can't wait to go see a good.
Oh, maybe I'll go see it then if it was that good.
Dude, I haven't been to a movie theater since I saw Rise of Skywalker, and just right around this time of year 2 years ago.
Well, I haven't seen a movie since Dog Day Afternoon. No.
I saw that. I think I saw that every day in like 1983 or something like that. When it was
it was before that.
No, but it was on HBO like all the time.
It was Dog Day Afternoon. Must have been like 1970s. Do you know one of the greatest actors of our time only did 5 movies and all 5 either won or was nominated for an Oscar?
No.
Yes.
Really?
If you the guy who played Fredo in The Godfather, also played in Dog Day Afternoon, and also was married to Meryl Streep.
Wow.
And he died young. His name is Suzanne is going to pull it up.
Well, I will say while she's looking it up, Dog Day Afternoon came out in 1975. But what I'm talking about is
Leo was in that movie too.
That's amazing. When I was a kid, it was on HBO all the time. It was like I felt like it was on every single night. And during the day, the movie Beastmaster was on. I feel like the 2 seminal HBO movies.
My grandmother, when I was maybe 8, thought it was a good idea to bring me the good Dog Day Afternoon. And I was just like, it terrified me. Then for some reason, I remember going across the street. I think it was the King's Highway movie theater. And we went across the street to the pizza place. And I sat in the corner and I was just looking out the window. And I just remember being terrified. Absolutely terrified. I had no idea what the movie was about outside of, it was just complete and utter chaos. Because it's not like today you have a tablet or phone and kids are being introduced to all kinds of shit, porn and all kinds of horror. I never saw that kind of horror until I saw Dog Day Afternoon. The only thing I saw was Welcome Back, Kotter.
Well, that was a horror for what they perpetrated on comedy with that show. But anyway,
so
listen, my dad,
John Casale, they consider him one of the best. Oh, that's so funny. That guy in the corner, Robert Costanza, is Leo Rossi's other best friend, and he played in everything. But he played Joey Tribbiani's, not Joey Tribbiani's, but Joey Tribbiani's father on Friends. Remember the Taylor? Remember the Taylor one? Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So I will tell you how I got scarred by a movie. I think it was 1978 when Invasion of the Body Snatchers came out, the remake of it, the one with Donald Sutherland. My dad took me to go see that. I was terrified after that. I was a mess. And I don't know if you guys remember, it's about the pod people and stuff like that. So just to make it so I couldn't ever sleep again, I woke up in the middle of the night. And my dad had put a watermelon next to my bed to make it seem as if the pod people were coming to get me when I was asleep.
Oh, wow.
That
Hey,
was,
listen, if I put a horse's head in your bed, it wasn't me.
yeah, man. That movie is that was an American Werewolf in London was the other one that freaked me out as a kid.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never seen
baby.
it.
Look at you. That's awesome.
Oh, Suzanne's making us talk about the commencement speech.
Well,
That was me doing the selfie with. I think all total, the whole stadium. I think there was a couple thousand people, but I think there were like 800 students, and they were so nice. They were so engaged, and I tell you, it was a good audience from the get. They were all very warm and very nice, and it was a perfect day. It was 83 degrees, sun was great, and I was using the teleprompter, so I couldn't look down. And one of the teleprompters, the glare was too great, so I couldn't see. So I read out of one, but it was it made me feel good because it made me like look up, and it made me feel the energy of the audience. I hate when commencement speakers look down at their paper and then look up for a minute, but then you know they got to go down and look again because you don't get the same. And Suzanne and I had this conversation. You don't get the same flow when you're doing it that way. Yeah, you can do it, but you're so concerned that when you drop down, that you turn the right page and your eyes hit the right paragraph. When you're doing it on a teleprompter, it doesn't look like you're reading teleprompter, and the energy can really come out of you.
It's true. One of the other things that I do, and Anthony, you know this, I do speaker training for people from time to time. And one of the lessons that I try to instill upon them is don't focus so much on every single word. You got to speak from the heart and get the meaning of the words that are on the page. But if you get caught up literally reading everything, it really takes away from that energy.
Yeah, I remember. I won't mention, and you were there, but I won't mention who. But I came up and I did something, and I did what I do, right? I went up and I made sure everybody that knows me knows I have, the people who are close to me knows I have horrific stage fright and paralyzing stage fright, but I overcompensate for it. And now I'd say almost beat it. I've almost beat stage fright. I really can jump on a stage and I think I can do much better. Yep. But there was a person that came on after me and I saw him really trying to learn his lines. He made everybody else nervous. And the time he got on, he was trying to memorize his lines, which was ridiculous because you can't memorize when you get up there, you get nervous. And he read every friggin' word and he was horrible.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because it's boring. Nobody wants to hear somebody read something. They want people to talk to them, look at them, and have emotion go from one person to another.
When you read it, like even though I was reading a teleprompter and I wrote every word, it didn't feel canned like I was reading every word. If I just, and again, you're nervous that you're going to miss the page. Anyway, so thank you, Suzanne. It was a good event. And then I went down to Jupiter and did some work there, and that was fun. It was a beautiful day, and I'll be down in Jupiter probably right after the new year. To get everything back on track after the holidays.
All right. So Anthony, I did before we get out here today, I just want to tell you about this incredible sacrifice that I made and what a great husband I am. And I watched the entire movie A Princess for Christmas with my wife, where this poor mom whose sister died, she got to take care of the kids. Then the grandfather from Belgravia sends Paisley the butler over to say, you got to come to our castle in Belgravia. And I want to get to know the grandkids and stuff like that. So I sat through 2 hours of that delightful movie. Guess what? You're not going to believe it. The prince was there, had a shrew girlfriend, fell in love with her. There was a little bit of a miscommunication. Somehow it all worked out. And at the end, she became a princess. I mean, it was magical.
You know what, Glenn? Thank you so much for telling us about this. And that's 2 minutes of my life I will never get back.
Hey, I lost almost 2 hours. You could give 2 minutes.
But it seems to me that you secretly enjoyed it.
I did.
Did you?
I even got a little teary at the end. Don't tell me.
I went nuts on Delta. I mean, I watched every documentary. I watched a documentary. Oh, if you haven't seen it, you have to see it. 20 feet from fame. It's about all the backup dancers or backup singers over the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And there was like 6 backup singers, real, just amazing singers that could have each been their own Diana Ross. They're all African American ladies that are on every Sinatra, every Motown, like every record out of Columbia Records as well. These backup singers, and one of them actually is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love watching shows.
Yeah, and there was another documentary I saw that was great, and I can't remember it.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm sure it was great.
But it's my favorite thing to do, man, is watch like, oh my God, I was coming to LaGuardia Airport, bro. And listen, we've been on tens of thousands of flights. I'm coming to LaGuardia Airport, and I am telling you, it felt like the plane, each wing was hitting the tarmac one at a time.
Oh my God.
It was like it was like somebody was shaking like a martini. It was crazy. And then he landed, and LaGuardia has a short runway, so he had to stop on a dime. I would tell you that my heart stopped. I was petrified. And I was like, and then I wanted to go and knock on the cabin and like say, have you ever like landed before? Because it didn't seem that it was wind, or it just seemed like maybe this is the first time he did it. And you know what? We've all probably been on a plane where the pilot was the first time he ever flew.
Thank God we didn't know. Right?
Well, maybe it was the last time he flew and he didn't give a shit.
I don't know. I do like when I get on the plane and I see pilots with gray hair, because I know they've been around for a little while.
Yes, I either want a female pilot or I want an older pilot.
That's right. I definitely don't want like a 25-year-old guy.
Yeah, I see a 23-year-old kid. I'm like, let me see forget about your pilot license. I want to see your car license, because I know that's been suspended.
Can't get a car at Avis, can fly a jet.
Right? That's probably true, right? That's absolutely probably true. So Glenn, so this week we have till what? Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, right. So here's what's going on. I'm going for my booster shot today at 3:00. So if for some reason I'm super, super sick, I'm going to have to take off tomorrow.
You're not taking off. No, I'm not letting you get away with it. We only have 4 days this week.
I know. We only have 4 days every week.
So roll, but we're off next week. Roll up, whether you have a fever or not, and do the show.
I will. So we'll see. So tune in tomorrow and witness what'll happen.
We have guests every day this week.
Not Thursday. Thursday.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But let's this week, let's do something we're thankful for, and it's got to be something serious. So obviously our family and our health.
Yep.
Okay. And our great careers. We're very fortunate. So outside of that, what are you grateful for?
What am I grateful for outside of that? I'm grateful for the sense of community that we have here, that we've put together. I love that we've met all of these people. I virtually know so many more people now. I feel connected with them. And I love that when I can go back out on the road and be with my extended family as well. So I'm thankful to have that part of my life back and to have made so many new friends.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. What about you?
Dr. Producer Suzanne. I'm thankful that she's works with us and that she's been very kind to both of us and has done a lot of work for both of us.
Right. Thursday. Ask Anthony and Glenn Thursday.
Wait, Suzanne, I hope you caught that, right? I said this beautiful thing about you, and Glenn goes, oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. I did. It's because he hasn't met me in person, so it's
so
okay.
weird that I haven't met you in person.
What?
Yes. We're a family. We're just a virtual family.
You say some nice things, because you do that from time to time. I say something and your brain is on something else.
I know, because I'm always thinking ahead to the next thing.
That was rude, Glenn. I'm thankful for your rudeness, Glenn, so I look better.
Yeah.
It's okay. I love both of you, so it's okay.
But him more. It's okay.
Okay. And he still hasn't said a nice thing. Say a nice thing about her.
I am going to. She is the absolute best. And let me tell you, having her back there, sometimes when we're screwing up, she comes up with great questions out there. She keeps us on target, and she pushes us to get things that Anthony and I could never, ever get done on our own. So thank you.
You're a nice person.
All of that for us.
Thank you, Suzanne.
It's so wonderful. Particularly keeping it all together to keep helping us with all of the stuff that you're dealing with in your personal life. I know how complicated and rough it is for you. So the fact that you make it here almost every single day is absolutely amazing, and we really appreciate and love you.
Thank you.
Okay.
happy
Glenn
to be here.
barely
to
makes
support
it
you
here
guys.
every day, regardless.
That's right. All right. Back in the hole. All right.
So our friend David, who's also a wonderful producer and helps us get our people on, he's an acting general manager, and I spoke to him this morning, and he sounds like an acting general manager that's running a hotel in New York City with a short staff during COVID.
Yeah.
And I know I should feel bad for him, but like every time he's in pain, I just get so much joy from it.
Yeah, because you've been through it all. You know what it's like, and you love that he's getting hardened by it.
Yes, that's exactly right. That
He's
I
being
know that when he's
indoctrinated.
done, I'll be able to get him a better job somewhere else.
That's right. That's right. He's really, really, it's really rough for Dave right now. If you guys can send him a note on Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever it is, he is really over a barrel.
It's rough for everybody right now, but
Yeah.
especially if you're running a hotel. But I just enjoy it as long as he's safe and he's okay.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy that he's like it's great. I was like, yeah, man, it's great, isn't it? I never had a bad day in the hotel business, and I had
Yeah,
10 stays, man. But I've never had a bad day in the hotel business.
Yeah.
Listen, it's great to see my daughter really. She's starting to really take to it. Like at first,
Really?
it was like, okay, it's out of COVID. She could be a wedding planner, and now the team. She really loves the team, and she enjoys the perks of it, and it's just wonderful to see. And whether she stays in the hotel business or not, who knows? But it's just wonderful.
Great. That's so nice. How rewarding is that? Because my kids are still in that they don't know what they're going to do phase. We're still working on colleges, but to see her organically start to get there must be so freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's listen, it's interesting, and it's also good to see them make their own money. I'll be honest with you. It's hard for me because I've always been that father that just made things too easy sometimes. I just took care of no, don't worry. Like mom would say no, and I was like, come here, here's $50. So it's hard for me. Like just now, I put gas in my daughter's car. I shouldn't have done that. She can afford her own gas for her own car. Right. And I got it washed for her too. So it's hard for me to stop.
Someone's got to let go. Maybe that'll be your New Year's resolution, Anthony.
No, I decided I'm not. I'm just never gonna. I'm gonna do whatever I can, and hopefully, when somebody needs to put me in an old age home, they put me in a nice one.
Nice. Yeah. Hopefully I'll get to stay in the same one as you. Well, we'll find out. Tune in 20 years from now.
Who's here tomorrow? Who's our guest tomorrow?
All right. So tomorrow we're going to be focusing on this guy, David Martin, with a company called Humanist Hospitality. Their whole idea is they're an operator of hotel and restaurant brands, emphasizing meaningful human interactions over there. So we'll really get a sense of what that means.
Well, I hope I if they're listening now, come prepared because I'm going to hold you accountable for that because we need it badly, and I want to know what you're doing differently.
We certainly do. Then on Wednesday, I think we're going to do something on design, if I'm not mistaken. But if you guys are into hospitality design, I'm happy to announce the Hotel Design Podcast is back. We put up the first episode of that. We've got 4 new shows coming in January. So check out Hotel Design Podcast.
You have some great guests. Andy was telling me the guests you have.
Oh my God. We've really got some great guests. I'm super excited to debut that Paul Steelman show, who has designed Resorts World, Circa, most of the major casino resorts that you know. I also
did he do the Circa sports betting arena?
Yeah, we talk all about it. Yeah,
dude, that is taking over Vegas.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome. We talked about how that's going to push other resorts to making big changes on Friday.
It's really helping downtown. It really is now the tent pole, the flagship for downtown.
Yeah, if you want to learn more about that property and Derek Stevens, the owner of that property and some others downtown, you'll tune into that show on Friday.
Wait, the owner's on too?
No, we talked about the owner. No, I've had Derek Stevens on the show before. We got to get him on here. Next time we go back to Vegas, we're going to do a show from Circa, I think.
I'm going to be in Vegas next week.
I'm not.
Me either. I'm just kidding. I wish.
I was hoping.
But if you are going to Vegas, do not miss my friend's show at the Nomad. It is amazing. Brian Newman's show. Brian Newman is an amazing musician, amazing singer, and happens to be the musical band leader director for Lady Gaga. And he's playing out at the Nomad in Vegas, and he is blowing up. He is becoming a superstar. And so if you've missed his show, I was
Well,
actually I was shuffling my music on my I said Siri shuffle my music in my car, and all of a sudden Roxanne came on, and I didn't know he did Roxanne. I guess I have his album on my playlist, and oh my god, he does a version of Roxanne that's phenomenal.
Yeah, they really one of the cool things, and I've seen Brian Newman After Dark at Nomad, which is playing December 30th, 31st, and 1st, if you guys are going to be there at 11 p.m. They really take a lot of those newer songs and put that kind of old time standards spin on them, and they do it so freaking
Daniel,
well.
if you're going to be in Vegas, seriously, please go see him at the Nomad. You can DM me, and I'll see if I can get you good seats, but definitely go. It is I think one of the best shows in Vegas. It's what old Vegas was, man.
Yeah, man.
It's an old Vegas show, man. It's got a little burlesque. It's got all kinds of different people from Vegas coming up. He is a crooner. He is exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. Matter of fact, if you saw the Tony Bennett, Lady Gaga thing on television, the band leader in the back, the tall, good-looking, handsome fella, that's Brian Newman.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, let's get out of here. I got to go get shot. What do you think?
Okay, man. Go get shot.
All right, everybody. I know you love watching our pretty faces every day, but Suzanne, what'd you do? You took that off on?
Suzanne, what did you do?
Hey, let me take that back off for a second on my own. Ha ha. You did something for once. It wasn't all
because I wasn't ready for you guys to go to take that little banner out of the corner.
Okay, I get you. Well, I just like the fact that someone else made a mistake around here. It's not all just me. Download the audio podcast, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, wherever you get your shows. Well, of course, that's where we are at. For some reason, if you don't see us there, please let me know, and we'll make sure we're there for you. He's at Anthony Hotels, and I am at Traveling Glenn. We'll be back tomorrow, everybody. And until then, remember, you got one life, so blaze on and
be kind to yourself.
hasta mañana.